Hello. Um, so welcome everyone. Welcome. Um, I was watching on my way home, I was watching a clip of Megan Thee Stallion. I think they were talking, it looked like they were at a Japanese restaurant. I don't care. But her friend apparently don't want her man around Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not gonna play it. Um, so it looks like Megan Thee Stallion friends do not want her around their boyfriend. And usually I would think, let me check. Drop a one if my mic is good. Drop a one if my mic is good. Um, Apparently they don't want Megan around their boyfriend. Apparently and usually I would drag whenever there's like a person who is in a relationship who are saying, "Oh, I don't want my man to be out there," or "I don't want these women around my man," I would understand that these people are low self-esteem, having weak, terrible people who probably should check their man as opposed to other women. Like that is usually my take, and it still is with a very specific exception. Like, I'm not saying this is not the truth. Your man should be loyal to you. Your partner, not just man, should be loyal to you. And I don't think you should be the one who have to prevent other people from coming around your partner. If you have to do that, then that's not your man, girl. That's everyone's man or woman or partner, right? However, there's an exception. When Megan Thee Stallion is as beautiful as she is, as famous as she is, as powerful as she is, um, I can understand why her friends would not want their man around her. Not because they should cheat, but because of Megan's quote unquote track record and her willingness to engage. And I do think celebrity make people act a fool. I'm not blaming her for their behavior, but I do recognize how men will think this is a once in a million opportunity. This is a once in a million. Like, I am making an exception for my general rule. I am making an exception for my general rule. And if you are Megan Thee Stallion friend and you're not as famous as she is, I can understand. I fully understand why you would want to keep your man away. And that's actually a very bad representation to have. In all the defense of Megan Thee Stallion, which I have engaged in, I've never really stopped to think about kind of the repercussions of a bunch of what was known about her being known about her. And I think it's really sad because I do actually believe a lot of people do a lot worse in real life, but because hers is so out there, because everyone knows it, it almost feels like if you don't take precautions, it it feels like if you were friends with Megan the Stallion and you don't take precaution, then it's kind of on you. And so, being her friend, it feels like you need to take precautions, which bring me to a very separate but related topic. I don't think, and this is not true because I don't know her friends, but I don't know if Megan the Stallion or like famous people who are cutting people off and sleeping with their friends' man or whatever. Um, I don't know if they can actually have good and real friends or like good people around them. And I'm not saying she's a bad person, mind you. I would never say that. I don't know this woman. I worry though that like it's a thing with Wendy Williams because of how she curated her surroundings, now when I think she need people who are going to tell her no and stand up to her, but also for her, she does not have the kinds of friends that would engage that way. Like, I think people who are willing to be used by other people who are willing to be abused by other people who are willing to engage even if they're afraid and tiptoe around people. I don't think those are good people. Like, I don't think it's possible that you're a good person running around with someone who will disregard you, mistreat you, speak down to you, sleep with your man. ah, I don't know. And so I am working through my thoughts on like the wh- what the reflection of Megan is going to be. Like, who are the people who are going to be around her, and whether or not those people are going to be good or good for her. And I do actually think your surroundings and the people you're with and what is allowed, the people you get to dismiss, I do actually think that plays a big part of who you are and who you become. Because I can see a good person, like fundamentally, if people are good and bad, but I can see a really good person go into Hollywood, go through some mess, and realize, wait, I have the power to just dismiss people, never have to engage with it because I don't have to work with you. I'm richer than you. I have more money. People are clamoring for my attention. I don't ever have to invest in like deep thought about, am I wrong? You know what I mean? And I do actually think that kind of privilege can go to anyone's head. Yeah, some Rebecca says it gives pick me energy when you're trying to keep your man from. Generally, I agree. Generally, I agree. But if you have an attractive man, if you have an attractive guy, and this does not apply generally, I agree with you so fundamentally. So fundamentally, I agree with you. But if Megan the Stallion is the friend, if Megan Thee Stallion is the other woman, absolutely keep your partner away from Megan Thee Stallion. Absolutely. I I fully I have never, because when other celebrities came out and talk about how they don't want their men around other women and blah blah blah, I drag them because it's annoying. But when a friend who is not the famous one says they don't want their man around Megan Thee Stallion, completely get it. I am completely for it. You and I, not you, Rebecca, but you all and I in the chat can disagree on this. It's completely fine. It is me stepping out of a principled stance that I have, and I still do believe this to some degree. It means that you know your man will cheat on you with Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know if that's true to say I know my man will cheat, but definitely I know my man will cheat with Megan Thee Stallion. Look, it is what it is. Now, will Megan want that man? Probably not. Like, let's be frank. However, it is. Look, it is what it is. Absolutely not. But let me clarify before we start the actual video. I am not saying. I wish Sin was here already. Give me a second. Let me get my phone so I can message. I am not saying at all that Megan is a bad person. I think Megan, like most celebrities, will surround themselves with people who make them feel good. And over time, feeling good, over time, hey, Sin,
Hey,
how are
sorry.
you?
Good. Sorry I didn't immediately jump on. I was actually finishing up this video for Patreon. It was kind of like a long one. So it took
Yeah.
me a little while to get it uploaded. But let me switch my thing to my headset. It's connected to my car right now, so I need to switch it really quickly.
Yeah, no, no, go ahead. Someone said, pretty girls need friends too. No, 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 no. This does not apply generally. If you think you should be preventing your man from being around your friend and being around other women, that is absolutely bizarre. Like, no, 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 no. That's not what I mean. I mean specifically, it's like Megan, let me give you some names. Megan the Stallion, Angelina Jolie, Alicia Keys. Those are the only ones that come off the top of my head. But those people, Alicia Keys, Megan the Stallion. The funny thing is, Megan hasn't stolen anyone's man, but just like the general rumor. Just like the general rumor, it could even be a lie. But like if you go, someone said, "Oh, Ariana Grande, please." Yes, yes, Ariana Grande. Immediately no. Immediately no. Like immediately no. I mean the entire Kardashian family. But I don't so if you have to hide your men from the Kardashian family, by the way, you shouldn't be hiding men from no anywhere. Like let's be clear, you shouldn't be hiding your partner from anywhere. So let's just say that. However, I feel like you should bring your man around the Kardashian. I believe that fully. I believe that if you say you're going to keep your man from the Kardashian, then I no, you should. You should. And if they want to go, let them. That is the what like I no.
You
That is
know,
the
the thing is,
yep.
I
Hello?
saw that I saw that post too. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I saw that post too about Megan. And here's the thing, Tory Lanez and Kelsey being in a relationship has literally never been verified. When I've gone on these posts and asked someone to provide any proof that Tory was dating Kelsey, nobody has been able to provide it. So I don't even believe this whole well Megan was with um her friend's man. I think a lot of black women don't like Megan the Stallion because of number one, how she looks and what she stands for. And I really think a lot of them will find any reason they can to try and paint her out to be a certain type of woman, which, mind you, I don't know whether she is or is not that type of woman because I don't know her personally. But what I do know is that things go through the rumor mill. I ain't never seen one picture. I was trying to even find one picture of Tory Lanez with Kelsey, and you just can't find it. So I don't know where they're getting this narrative from that Megan just went out and went behind her friend's back and had sex with her friend. Didn't Kelsey just come out in a podcast and say their issues wasn't even over Tory and that she wasn't even dating Tory?
Yeah, well, I don't. She didn't say they weren't dating Tory, but she said that their issue wasn't over Tory. Her issue was that Megan kind of iced her out. But it sounds like Kelsey at least hinted at both of them sleeping with Tory and that she was there first. However, I actually don't know what the truth is, so I will concede to you on that. I'm just talking about the general idea around her, which is not great. And I actually defend her, and I do actually think people don't like her because she seems like she's very aware that she can pull someone, get what she wants, and discard men. Like I think you said that she doesn't worship men. It feels like she just
Yeah, she doesn't.
yeah. So like that I get, but I can also get why if I am Megan the Stallion friend who doesn't if I don't have fame, don't have money, don't have power, and I have a guy, I would be very afraid to bring that guy around Megan if I were
Well,
a woman.
I think I actually put that in a comment section when somebody said, they wouldn't even allow Megan to be around their man's shadow. And so I was like, so you feel like your man and his shadow would choose up on Megan the Stallion, which
Yes,
clearly you do. It would be any woman.
that is fully what I mean. That is fully what I that is fully what I mean. Fully. Fully.
Ye- I'm cutting out for a minute because I'm cutting out because I'm driving. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no, you're fine. However, again, this is not a principled stance, and it will change. I'm telling you all this, so if you cut this video at any point in any debate with me for people in the channel, please know I'm telling you this is not principled. This is an exception I'm making. My principle is if you think you have to hide your man from the world or from other women, it's not your man, and you know this, and it's low self-esteem. The only exception I make right now is Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that video and I just started laughing because I get it. And I don't know how she feels generally, thinking that her friends think of her in this way. I don't think that's fair. Yep, the Destiny and Sinji debate is scheduled for today. All right. So that was a little bit of fun. I am being serious, but I understand the discomfort because the principle should remain. But I also understand why people would think that. So it is what it is.
My thing is, as a general matter, if women feel that they can't bring their man around other women or that they got to keep their man in the house, then it's obviously because they don't trust their man. It's like it doesn't matter which way you pitch it. You can't trust your man.
Agreed. Completely agree with you. You're cutting out. I don't know if I'm here.
Hello? No, it's me cutting out. It's me cutting out.
All right.
Yeah, you're not cutting out. I am.
All right. Let's get into the
video. I know I'm gonna take that enough.
I don't know what that is. All right. So I have to be here. I'm trying to get it done this in 1 hour and 30 minutes, but I definitely can't go over 2 hours because I do actually have to pack. So Sin cut out, she'll be in. So let's get into, oh, here she is. You ready, by the way, Sin? We're gonna move into the videos.
My phone is not getting a good signal where I am, so I'm gonna try to stick with it. But when I cut off and when I drop off, it's because my phone isn't getting a good signal here.
All right, that works. No worries at all. Hi, Sinji, we miss you. You come back. Hey, Themis and Lord, I have to agree. Sin, people are mad at Megan. Megan does what she raps about.
I think she meant raps about.
And men come out and claim. Yeah, agreed. I
also think that most Black women cannot relate to Megan. And typically people don't really like or favor people that they can't relate to. And they can't relate to her confidence. They can't relate to her devaluing men. They can't relate to the fact that she doesn't chase after men. She will use them and discard them. And most Black women are very desperate for Black male attention. She's not. And I think that they don't like that. So they can't relate to her.
Yep. I agree. And I don't like how she gets attacked. So this is not an attack in any way. I just saw the video of her friend and I was like, ooh, yikes. I don't know how she feels about that. Before we go to, what's his name? What's that them people? Abba and Preach. Before we go to Abba and Preach, there is a psychologist who was talking, and I actually want to get your opinion of it. I have a lot of thoughts, so tell me to pause it at any point, so we can get into it.
Okay, I will. I definitely will.
What do you think of Andrew Tateism then?
So as a general rule, I don't comment on people that I don't speak to. Mm-hmm. So tell me the features of what you're talking about.
Okay, so the recent wave of internet masculine influencers who have like Bugattis and lots of women and sports cars, and there's many of them. There's many of them, and they seem to be resonant for some kind of reason. That are kind of saying that the way to be a man is to have loads of money, lots of women, kind of cars, physical strength. It's just this huge sort of generation of young, typically men, that are now disciples of that religion.
Yeah. So I think if you dislike that toxic masculinity, what we need to understand is it's the people who hate that toxic masculinity that are driving these people towards it. So I know this is kind of crazy. So what's happened is this has grown, right? And as it's grown, what have we done? We've demonized these people. We've said these people are bad. And as we demonize them, what's happened? They've grown stronger. So this is something that's very important to understand. If you are a man and you say, I am suffering today, what is the response that you're going to get?
Shut up.
Absolutely.
Not in those exact words, but that's whatever the words are, that's what they mean.
Now, I want us to be very, very careful, right? So if you are listening to Steven say people tell you to shut up, and your first thought as a listener is, no, that's not true, that's the problem. So if people agree with you, they understand what you're saying. But if they disagree with you, that's the problem. We literally have a man who is telling us right now that your experiences when I say I'm suffering, people tell you to shut up. And then people are going to be judging you for saying that. And they're going to be saying, no, that's not true.
They're going to be saying, shut up.
Absolutely. Right? So this is exactly the problem. So men are struggling right now, and the rest of the world says, no, you're not. You're privileged. You're a man. There's a patriarchy. And I'm not commenting on the sociology of it. There is a patriarchy, whatever. Men have many advantages in life. I've experienced many advantages of being a man. It's absolutely true. Let's not go there. I'm talking about the individual experience of men. So there is one group of people on the planet who says, yes, your life does suck. And that's these toxic masculine people. They're the only people that truly validate men's experiences. Because everyone else says, why are you complaining? And these guys say, yeah, you're a fucking loser. What are you going to do about it? They at least meet you where you're at. And they say, yes, your life is hard, and I will show you a way to make it better. Whereas the rest of the world says, no, your life isn't hard. What are you complaining about? And I've seen this as a doctor. I've seen patients who are complaining about pain, women who are complaining about pain because they have an internal bleed within the wall of their uterus that cannot get detected. And they're saying, I'm hurting, I'm hurting, I'm hurting. And we ignore this person's pain. And that's when things go bad. So for years and years and years, we have ignored the struggles of men. And there's one group on the planet who accepts them with open arms. And the more that we demonize them, so when someone starts believing in this toxic masculinity, what is the response? Do people ever ask, like, help me understand what your life is like? Like, what do you like about this person? Because everyone's going to them for a reason, but we never bother to ask, why are you listening to this person? What does this mean to you? We see these posts all the time in our community. My boyfriend is getting into this stuff. My son is getting this stuff. How do I stop it? Hold on a second. Don't try to stop it. Understand it first. Because everyone's trying to stop it and no one is bothering to listen to what the experience of these men are. And that's why it's getting worse and worse and worse as we try to stop it.
So if I'm the mother of a son who is watching a lot of these sort of toxic male influences online, what would be a better approach versus just banning the computer and telling them that that's toxic and not to look at it?
Help me understand what you like about this. What is it like to be a man in today's day and age? How do you feel about yourself? How does it feel knowing that 70 to 80% of women want you to make more money than them, and yet 60% of people who graduate from college are women? So
All right. Perhaps auto spellers were trying to take me out. No, you're fine. Fluffy and Daisy.
Did he?
598.
He literally said that when on average they make more. Did he just try to compare what he thinks men are going through in society to Black women dying due to racism in a medical system?
To women, he said, but yes.
Well, women are not dying because they're not being believed and their pain isn't taken seriously. Black women are. That's not an issue that white women have to deal with. But I do know he didn't he say like a certain group of women
No, I don't think he listed a group of women. I think he just said women.
Yeah, even still, it's like, why would you make that comparison when at the end of the day, if men have a plight in a patriarchal society, then men are the ones who are causing their plight.
Yes.
That's not the same as what women would be going through.
Yeah. So the first claim, or one of the claims he made, I ran and grabbed a pen and stuff too late. Let's take him off the screen for a second. Because this is dishonesty. He is a doctor, so I think there is a lot of validity that's given to his position in advocating for men. And I'm not opposed to people advocating for men, but I need people to stop lying. So when men are going through stuff, men are told to shut up. This is not true. And if you're going to make this claim, you're going to actually have to separate what kinds of things and when men are told to shut up, because men aren't generally being told to shut up. And the idea that only the Andrew Tate type of men see men going through stuff and say, oh, this is bad, men are struggling. That's not the case. First of all, within the Black community, we already know that's not the case, right? Around thinking that women have to show up for men, be there for men, be the pillow and the pillar in some people's mind. So we know that's not true. But in broader society, feminism and the whole idea that we should restructure society and move out of the patriarchy also includes the idea that men are suffering under the patriarchy. Now, there are people who disagree and agree with that. What I'm merely stating is that his premise, like, this is incorrect. Men aren't just being told to suck it up. Men are being babied generally, and they're not being pushed into school, which he's going to get to, but I wanted to pause it before we continue. And not only is this all true, men are, in feminist mind, intersectional feminist, Black feminist mind, in people who are trying to change the system, progressives mind, men under the current notion of masculinity need to be liberated from it so that they can express themselves in a myriad of different ways outside of the rigid masculine framework. The reason why this man thinks Andrew Tate and them are the only one appealing to men is because those men are doubling down on what masculinity means and what hypermasculinity is and why it should be achieved. And that doesn't help. For a lot of people, that doesn't help in creating who you are. Like, if you have to fit a rigid set of masculine trait, having a bunch of cars, a bunch of women, not being faithful, that does not help other people. So, I mean, I was going through some parts of what he was saying, and it's just on its face not accurate at all.
Well, I think that's why they'll say men are going through some things, but then the only thing he mentioned, like, he didn't even go into detail about what men are going through, and then simply mentioned most women want men to make more than them. But the reality is that men are the ones who make the requirements for other men. Men set those. And in response to men complaining about that, women aren't telling them to shut up. Women are putting out PSAs to other women that they should accommodate men and the fact that they don't make as much despite being in a patriarchy where they have all the privilege.
Echoing that and then underscoring it with the idea that feminism actually helped men, at least feminism in the way that it was adopted. So men usually, this does not include the Black community apparently, because women have always had to work. And so the idea, at least, let's not go back in history, but say the idea of the nuclear family under patriarchy has the man outside working and the woman at home taking care of the home and the children. What feminism does is it pushes women out into the market without requiring that the man take on more at home. And so the woman is helping the man with his sort of duties in the patriarchy while being left alone, mostly the second shift, to do most of the work that she used to do. So not only do you keep your work, you have to help him with his work. And this is seemingly unfair. We can jump to Korea for a minute, but I won't because I'm making a video on that after the 4B movement, after I saw yours and other people, but I'll wait for that.
Right, because essentially what feminism is doing is it's allowing man's role to be flexible because he doesn't have to really be the provider. He can give an excuse as to why he's not the provider and claim and complain that they're not in school, they're not graduating at the same rate as women. They're not explaining really why. But in general, feminism is allowing their role to be flexible while hers stay rigid. Because even like you said, when she's in the workforce, she's still carrying half of his burden and all of hers. So you would think men would be championing, you would think they would champion feminism, considering it does allow them to be flexible on their role and still be considered men and viable mates to women.
Yeah. Because what the truth is, if women should lean away from all of this and into their real power, it's going to leave men without anything. And that means, because if women, and they can take care of themselves, they don't need to take care of themselves, their home, and now a man. Because it feels like, and this is not the case for every relationship. So I don't want to speak as if I'm speaking for all relationships. I'm speaking about the relationships that have been broadcast, have been statistically proven within the Black community, but also, again, more generally, where it just seems like a lot more burden on women when they do get married, even though a lot of women still want to, and I don't dissuade people from this. When you do get married, a lot of women report being unhappy, not only because of the work they have to do for themselves, but for their husband and now the home and taking care of everything. And I feel like this is not really factored in properly when these men or doctors are discussing how men are feeling bad and not being seen in society and being told no one cares about you. You created the system. You engaged in a way that was, in your mind, most beneficial to you as a man. So hearing you complain about it kind of feels misplaced after owning the fact that as a man, you have a ton of privilege. You can't use that privilege to get ahead. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. The crying and whining doesn't make sense to me.
But well, because this is all ego based. The reality is nobody is doing anything to disenfranchise men. And if they are, it is other men who are doing it based on the fact that they created a standard of manhood that they obviously can't live up to. That's nobody's fault but theirs. Because surely they're not suggesting that women are somehow putting restrictions on men in a patriarchal society where they have all of the power and she has to deal with the oppression of being a woman. So this is solely ego based on the fact that now that women have a small amount of rights, now that they can actually compete, they're, men can essentially compete with what women can do. That's the issue here. It's an ego issue. Nobody's really doing anything to them. They don't feel like men because now that women are able to have autonomy, it's removing a need for the man in addition to the fact that they're exceeding men in certain areas.
Yeah. You just said something that I wanted to point out. Oh, your Cash App thing is at the bottom. Can someone drop in Patreon, by the way? I completely forgot. By the way, wait, now this is actually funny. Why? I feel like are you more, you probably have said this, are you more comfortable on Patreon than you are on YouTube?
It's not a thing of comfort. I just prefer Patreon because it's not as trolly and it's not toxic like YouTube is.
Because you keep going in. Like the last, 3 or 4 live stream, I've just been sitting there like, ain't no reason for you to be dragging anyone like this. Like, I literally rewatched them so many times. I'm like, it's wild. This is changing too many things in my life. Anyway, I'll talk to you privately about that because they've been amazing. I've been enjoying them. The last time I came in late and I was so annoyed I missed half of it. Um, and sorry, going back to your question, who is restricting men in a patriarchy? I think that should be the next question this man asked the Dr. K, but he probably won't. Let's watch some more. Again, you can tell me to pause whenever. I'm taking notes because I don't want to like forget my point.
Okay.
Want you to make more money than them, and yet 60% of people who graduate from college are women. So men are living in a world today where there are impossible expectations to meet. And so, like, what is it like to be someone who fundamentally has no chance at success? Right? These are the kinds of...
This not even... Sorry, I'm going to go back because I need to know what these impossible expectations are.
That's exactly my thought. When did the expectation that they were fulfilling in the past, when did it become impossible now? What made it impossible? Because they said they were fulfilling it some years ago. They can give you a point of reference when they were fulfilling the expectation. It wasn't impossible then. What's making it impossible now?
It's just banning the computer and telling them that that's toxic and not to look at it.
Help me understand what you like about this. What is it like to be a man in today's day? Feel knowing that 70 to 80% of women want you to make more money than them, and yet 60% of people who graduate from college are women. So men are living in a world today where there are impossible expectations to meet. And so...
All right. Wait. 60% graduates are women. All right. The impossible expectation is that 70 to 80% of women want you to make more money than them, but 60% of graduates are women. Girl, what they sending you out to trade school? Did they say you didn't have to go to college? Is this doctor trying to tell us something we already know, that college degree leads to higher wage? Is that what he's trying to say? And because women are going to school more, they're out earning men, or they're about to start out earning men. Is that what he's trying to tell us? Because the men's said they didn't have to go to school to make money. And what part of this is impossible? What part of women wanting men who make more money than them, 70 to 80% of women want men who make more money than them. What part of that is impossible for men to do in a patriarchy? What part of that is impossible for men to do? And the survey doesn't actually say 70 to 80% of women want men to make more than them. It says 70 to 80% of women would like men to make as much or more than them. So what part of that is difficult? Well, if you don't go to school, making money can be difficult. Got it, true. Go to school. Go to school. By the way, Sin, if you're talking, you're muted. I'm concerned, like, wait, where is it? Team, if you know our basket weaving degree, give us an unfair advantage. No, like, labeling the very basic requirement in society for men caused by men as impossible is absolutely wild to me. Dr. K, no, he out of pocket. And I wish I was interviewing him here, because this don't make no sense. Will you watch David's interview on Just 3411? I don't know who Just 3411 is, but I can look it up. Sin, go ahead.
So again, here is the issue, because I'm sure back when women weren't allowed to be in the workforce or own homes or property or have bank accounts or any of that, I'm pretty sure all men weren't enrolling in school. So I would have to know how much their attendance have changed. But the reality is, you are still in a patriarchy. You get paid more money just because you are a male. That has not changed. All of the data says that, all things being equal, qualifications and education, men are still getting paid more than women. So then how is it impossible for you to make more money than her when you get paid more than her and you have access to more jobs than she does?
You cut out a little bit.
Oh, okay. So no, I was saying, how did it then become impossible for them to meet an income, which is not really a requirement? It sounds like it's an income desire, because women are still dating and marrying these men who make less than them. But how does that then become an impossible expectation when men are still getting paid more than women, and they have access to more jobs and are hired more than women, just based on the fact that they are men?
Oh, it's not impossible. He's just pulling random stuff. He's just talking to talk. And this is what I don't understand. For you to be male leaning in terms of your ideological bend, it means that you have to completely ignore reality from my perspective. Because none of this is making sense. And maybe he does have answers to the questions we're posing, but no one is asking him these questions, so he doesn't get to grapple with any of them. I'm probably
Well,
going
but
to reach
they're
out to
not going to
him.
act. Well, and they're not going to ask him the question, because then through dissecting it, it's going to be revealed that nothing is stopping them from doing anything at all. And if there is something that's stopping them, it's their ego. And when you talk to these men and how they feel about school and college and what's being taught there, you can tell that the reasons that they're not going is, one, because there is this anti-intellectualism movement that men have started, and number two, they don't want to be in the same classrooms with women, knowing that women are doing better than them. So
Yeah.
women are not even trying to compete with them, but they can't even measure up. Well, we're not even trying to compete. Women are just going on about their business, trying to do things to better their own life and their own circumstances. So the more that you delve into this, it's becoming an argument or a complaint that's based on ego, and they need a scapegoat, but they're not clearly defining who that scapegoat is. They're implying that it's somehow women, but they're not going to just come right out and say it, because if they say it's women, what they're going to have to say is that women having rights is what's holding us back, and women need to be oppressed and not have any rights anymore.
Yes, you're right. They can't actually come out and say women are oppressing them, because then they would have to prove women having power. So the alternative is exactly what you said. Women having rights is a problem in their mind. Yeah.
Like, what is it like to be someone who fundamentally has no chance at success? Right? These are the kind.
But girl, wait, no. What do you mean? What does it feel like to be someone who fundamentally has no chance of success? By the way, remember the question is, he's saying, what do you ask? Because you're trying to tell these men not to watch red pill content. Instead of telling them to stop, try to understand them. One of the questions you could ask is, what does it feel like to be a person who has no chance of success? Imagine turning to your son and asking your son, how does it feel to be a person who has no chance of success? Like, this is wild. Like, what are you talking about?
Because like, how are you a man in a patriarchal society even asserting or suggesting, to even suggest that a man wouldn't have a chance at success is just really diabolical and manipulative. I'm actually tired of them whining and crying. I'm so tired of hearing it. It's like, just do better. You have all the privilege. Nobody's doing anything. If somebody is your male counterparts, go talk to them.
And this man have a doctor in front of his name, mind you. So he knows firsthand that men can be a success. They can go to school and they can graduate. Don't ask me a doctor in what. I don't know who this man is.
I couldn't even tell by the way he talks that he was a doctor of anything.
Yeah, the same.
Kinds of things that you need to say to these people. You need to give them an alternate place to go where they can be heard and helped, supported, and understood.
I agree.
See, anytime
a therapist. Will they go though? I agree. Send them to a psychotherapist. Give them a psychiatrist number. Ain't nobody got time for this. Let me pull back.
But isn't he a therapist and he has the same bandit, whiny, weak bitch pathology that they have?
No, you can't be mean. He might be a good man, Savannah.
There's nothing left to learn anytime we're judgmental. So what do we do to all these people who are toxic men? We even create the word toxic. We literally label them as bad in some way. And I'm not saying that the behavior isn't toxic, but what I'm trying to point out is that even in our language, there is so much harsh judgment.
So the behavior is toxic in your mind, but calling it toxic is wrong. Calling it what you said it is. I am not saying the behavior isn't toxic. So the behavior is toxic. So we get to call it toxic. Oh, gotcha. Oh, so the behavior can be toxic, but we shouldn't call it what it is. Like, I'm confused. I was going to say he's a good man, Cynthia, but I didn't want to rhyme.
But this is why I say it's weak. It's like, to me, they're just weak. And I don't like weak, whiny males who can't even validate why they're weak, crying and whining, saying somebody is doing something to them and stopping them from actualizing as males, but they're not really pointing out who it is. It's like, go take your battle and your cries and your tears to somebody who's doing something to you. Like, and I mean, I guess essentially he is, because he's talking to another man. But it's like, I feel like I'm always wondering when they sit up and say, well, men are having a hard time and men can't do this and men can't do that. I constantly find myself wondering, who is causing that y'all to not be able to do these things? And the question literally never gets answered.
I disagree with you. I don't think he's talking to men. I think he's talking to women specifically. I think that when they say men are going through this and you should ask them this question and you should ask them that question and you should care about them, I think they're talking to women. I think that because they yeah, like it feels very specific, like you were saying earlier about the issue they're having is that women have rights, right? Because they can't say women have power in society to create and reshape the system for hundreds of years that have oppressed men. They can't do that. So they have to now figure out a way to make an amorphous system outside of man that is oppressive to men, and the other person in that equation would be women, need to be more thoughtful and careful around them. They're not telling other men to not say toxic masculinity. They're telling women to not say toxic masculinity, in my opinion. That's how I'm reading this. There's a conversation towards women in my mind.
So I once had a patient.
We both just did it, didn't we?
Absolutely. So I once had a patient who was smearing feces all over the school. So adolescent kid, right? And when you have a kid who's literally taking a shit and wiping it on the walls and stuff, what happens? The kid gets punished. Kid gets punished again and again and again. The one really sad thing is no one ever asks, why are you doing this? What's going on inside you? Because healthy kids don't do this. It's only kids who've been traumatized in some way. And as I've worked with incels, as I've worked with people who are toxically masculine, it always starts with trauma. And when I say always, this is a clinical experience, but I'm talking about 100%. So 100% of people start on this path by getting hurt in some way, by getting taken advantage of in some way, by sacrificing something and not getting something in return. And they have their share of responsibility too. I'm not saying that they're hapless victims, but I think that people who are raised with love and compassion and do have connections don't go down this road.
I agree with him that the why is important. The story he's telling does not make sense. So a child is smearing that all over the wall and keeps getting punished, and no one until you asked why. You so you're telling me y'all saw a child smearing that all over the wall repeatedly, and no one asked the child why he doing that. That's what you're. I don't believe this man. I do not believe this man for a second. I don't believe. I don't think that's even possible.
But then if he can make that statement using, the child that's, smearing his, I don't want to say fluids, but whatever, we know his body material all over the wall, then surely he can understand when he's complaining and saying men are oppressed and men have a hard time. We will want to know the who, as in who is doing it. So why isn't he explaining that?
And while you're trying to figure it out, you probably want to separate that child from the rest of the child in the wall and his bodily secretions. Like, obviously, you still want to figure out why and you want to prevent the behavior, but you're not going to try to figure it out while he's smearing it on the wall. Like, you're going to try to remove, like, first of all, comparing grown man to a child doing that is wild and diabolical work, but neither here nor there. Even in that case, the why will come after you have prevented the behavior or stopped the behavior or delayed the behavior in some way. You're not going to sit there and talk to the child as he's smearing. Sorry. Jackie B, welcome to the membership. Sorry. I think I cut you off. My bad.
No, you didn't cut me off at all.
Good.
You're so passionate about this, aren't you? Because I feel like your eyes have seen in your practice some pretty heartbreaking things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, see, unless we are willing to be what these people need, they're going to continue going down the toxic masculinity route. Someone needs to start offering these people safe haven. No matter what they say, or not no matter, I think there should be consequences for actions, but so this is as someone who's worked in a jail, right? So, and this is what's kind of interesting if you really think about it. People will judge me for talking to or even trying to support people who are toxically masculine. And they're like, oh my God, you're such an asshole. You're giving these people a platform. How could you make the world a worse place? And then I tell them I worked in a jail for 3 months. And they're like, oh, look at you. You're so compassionate. You're working with these people who are like criminals. And like, oh my God, I don't think they realize that anyone you see on social media is 10 times better than the people that I worked with in jail. These are people who are actual pedophiles, actual rapists, right? Not just talk.
I know you don't understand this, but talking about it and normalizing it, even if the people who are only saying it aren't doing it, they're creating a culture where it's more acceptable. And that in and of itself is a problem. The people behind bars are already removed from polite society, let's call it. Right? So that people are willing to say, oh my God, you went in and you did that. That's great. You now out in public giving voice, amplifying the voices of people who are creating a further toxic culture that could lend a sort of elevation to these ridiculous voices, could also send those men, some other men, into prison. Like, the people who are speaking might not be the ones who engage in the behavior, but they help create and foster a community and a culture that makes it okay for other men to engage in the behavior that they're talking about that they might not engage with. And that's the problem. Yeah. So, all right. Finn is going to be on mute for a bit, but she'll come back in when she can. Just jump in when you feel like.
talking about it. Maybe the people on social media are too. I don't know. And so it's really interesting the way that our mind automatically judges things. And so if we really want to fix this problem, we need to fix this problem. It's just my take. I mean, I'm not I'm a big fan of like compassion and trying to support other human beings. I'm not saying that that's always the right answer. I think sometimes you may need things like war or violence or whatever. I mean, there may be causes for it. But generally speaking, I think that like demonizing these people isn't working.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered in the remedies to this sort of male crisis?
Compassion is kind of useless in that you haven't explained when and how to show compassion. Compassion as a blanket statement is not that useful in this engagement, because compassion is separating. Compassion is allowing people to go and learn and fail on their own. Compassion is taking care of yourself in ways that might not be beneficial to the person harming you, right? That is compassion for yourself, compassion for your child, compassion for society at large. Like, compassion in and of itself does not directly or indirectly answer the question about how you can help, quote unquote, these men.
We've talked about getting more in touch with yourselves. Is there anything else? Do we need more positive role models, or is it really not about the external at all?
No, I mean, so I think all that stuff is true. So we know that, for example, like there's like a loneliness crisis and things like that. I think that it's not just role models, like we need individual responsibility. So like, for example, everyone will say, yeah, like I know it's a real tragedy that men don't have friends, but it's not my job to fix. I will hear this from both men and women, that like it's a real tragedy, but it's not my responsibility. It's sad that this thing happened, but it's not my and which makes sense, right? No human being is responsible for another human being. But then the question kind of becomes like, okay, let's play that tape through to the end. What happens to that person? Whose responsibility is it? So if you look at a lot of what's going on with men right now, it's loneliness, it's isolation, it's touch starvation, it's suicidality.
Sexlessness as well.
Sexlessness. And it's no individual person's responsibility. The real problem with this is problem solve on their own. This is actually what I'm experiencing.
So this is not funny. I'm laughing because like I've never heard in a regular conversation someone use the phrase touch starvation. Got it. Men are lonely. They're not having any sex. For a heterosexual man, who are you telling to do what? You are saying this is not a problem they can solve on their own. Wait, someone said my video is choppy. Is my video choppy? Let me check. Let me check. Sorry. My bad. It doesn't look choppy to me. It looks like it's going. Is my video no, people are saying it's fine. I'm sorry. Maybe you should reload and come back. It's fine. Okay. So sexlessness is one of them. This is not something they can solve on their own. Got it. For heterosexual men who are sexless, what do you want people to do? Who do you want to do what? So let's start with the group of people you're talking to. They should be empathetic, right, to the plight of men who are sexless. And men cannot solve this issue on their own. What should these women do? I'm struggling. I'm actually kind of struggling to figure out what he thinks the solution is. Because I feel like I know what he's saying. Men need friends. Okay, then teach people how to communicate and find friends and make friends. Like, I'm so confused because I feel like they are never, ever going to tell you what it is that you should actually do. They're going to leave it hanging in the air. No, you do not have to give your body up to anyone because they are sexless. What do you mean? Like, that don't make no sense. They can solve it on their own. Well, sucks to suck on that specific case. Let me go back.
And it's no individual person's responsibility. But the real problem with this is that these are not problems that men can solve on their own. This is exactly why this is the problem that men are experiencing. Because as men, we are taught to be independent. We are taught to be, you should fix everything on your own. And so men have fixed all of the things that we can fix on our own. The only
Really, you believe men have fixed all of the things they can fix on their own? Really? That's what you think? This is degenerate. This has to be like degenerate. Like, you have to own this is degenerate. What do you mean? So no accountability. How are you gonna sit there talking about men are lonely, men are depressed, but they've fixed everything that they can fix on their own. So the problem isn't men, the problem is women. Because no. Let's be clear. If men have fixed all the things that they can fix on their own, everything that they can fix on their own, they've fixed it, then men aren't the problem anymore. It's women. Men have fixed everything they can fix on their own. Yeah, you are an enabler. You are. And I don't care how many degrees are behind your name. That is wild. Talking about men as a collective, men have fixed everything they can fix on their own. That don't even make sense when suicidality is that high. Like, what do you mean? Joblessness, lack of access to education. Literally, the literacy rate is in hell. Comprehension, emotional intelligence, ability to connect, ability to try to understand people. What do you mean men have fixed everything they can fix on their own? Who is supposed to help men with their struggles in society when they haven't even said who is causing them? Like, tell us who's causing them. Like, this is wild. He gave us an analogy to use. The child is the red pill man, so is talking point, and the wall is YouTube. Yes, this is all making sense. Mia, you're right. This is making sense. They told us to close our legs. Our legs are closed. 4B movement. I actually have a lot of thoughts on the 4B movement, actually. Yeah. Someone said, why isn't Sin saying anything? She will. She's doing something right now. She's still listening, but she's saying something. She's doing something now. Nathim, it's all about not blame one gender. How about Dr. K is trying to point out a miscommunication between the genders and in society in general? He is not. He's blaming one gender. I'm not blaming one gender. He is. He said, men, when you say men have fixed everything that they can fix on their own, you're blaming the next gender. What do you mean? He ain't pointing, he's not pointing anything out. He's just blaming women. What do you mean? Y'all are, I feel like, anyway, it's the same thing. When I was analyzing the ABBA versus Destiny debate, people were in my comments talking about, oh, you're too hard on ABBA. He is just letting Destiny eat himself. No, he's not. Y'all are making up rules. You are trying to figure out a way to make the person who you side with won. He did not win in that debate. He was flustered, and he had Destiny doing whatever Destiny wanted to do without holding his feet to the fire. Like, own that. And I agree with Abba. You should be able to agree with someone while still critiquing them. Like, I read the comments. One of the things, like, I like being dragged by my chat, by the way. I like being dragged in the comments. I actually really don't mind. What I don't like is when I see, like, intellectual dishonesty or people not willing to engage in, like, meaningful critique. drag me, but do it in good faith. Don't make some stuff up like ABBA. Do you know ABBA? Talking about ABBA was just up there making him eat himself and like making him contradict himself. Like, no, he wasn't. He was not. Like he was full trying to debate, but decided not to. Learn how to communicate. Open your mouth and talk. Men most definitely can learn how to communicate. Really, women have to fix that, right?
Only thing that's left is the things that we must rely on other people for, right? So no one's complaining about, I mean, a lot men have fixed all of the things that we can fix on our
Isn't
own.
that blaming other people now? Men have fixed everything they can fix on their own. It's not blaming other people. Listen, like, please listen. Like that this is wild now. Like we've been doing this for 3 years. At this point, like we should figure out how to do analysis around like stuff we're watching. Because like don't just hear what you want to hear and make up stuff people didn't say.
The only thing that's left is the things that we must rely on other people for.
Men
right? So no
have
one's complaining
fixed
about
everything that they can fix on their own. The only thing left is for them to go for the things that they need other people for. Really? Men want women as crash tester. Yep. Yep. Team is Daisy's live. Girl, I didn't know Daisy had a channel. Oh, you mean Tree of Logic? I didn't know she changed her name. I know Tree Logic. Learn how to communicate. Open your mouth and talk. Oh, I just read this. I'm gonna finish this and we can go look what Daisy's talking about before watching ABBA and preach.
I mean, a lot of men are obese, but there's not like an obesity. There is a crisis, but that's not what's bothering people. That's not where we're losing the war.
What
we're not
war?
losing the
Have men declared war on women? I mean, they act like it, but men are losing the war. There's an obesity crisis in men, and it is an issue. But you just said men have done everything they can do on their own. There is a. Let me go back because I definitely heard war.
I mean, a lot of men are obese, but there's not like an obesity. There is a crisis, but that's not what's bothering people. That's not where we're losing the war. We're not losing the war. So there are lots of things I can fix in your own life. It's just the real challenge is that no one is willing to take responsibility for any level of connection.
That sentence made no sense. So there's a lot of things you can fix in your life as a man. However, men have done everything they can possibly do to improve themselves already. The only thing left is for the things that people need to help them with. That don't make no sense. That does not make sense. Like, I don't know what you're talking. Like, let me go back again. I literally have no clue what this man is talking about.
The war. We're not losing the war on lots of things as a man that you can fix in your own life. It's just the real is that no one can take responsibility for any level of connection with men. And so that's not something that is going to get fixed because you need.
No one is willing to take any kind of accountability or responsibility for connection with men. What? If I'm breaking up, I don't know what you do.
Need another human being to hug you. Like you can't hug yourself. It just doesn't work. So and my area of focus tends to be on introspection because I think that's like really, really powerful, but there's all kinds of other stuff that's important. Mentorship, role models, all that kind of stuff. But I think ultimately through introspection, you can attain complete peace, no matter who you are, what your path is, circumstance.
So,
He's not making any sense, by the way. He's not making any sense.
more of the responsibility for some of these big fundamental issues that men and people in crisis can't solve for themselves?
Subtly, no. Not a society. Because as a society, who's part? No. I mean, you. I mean, your listeners as individuals need to take responsibility. And it's not that you have to take responsibility. It's not fair to you to be responsible for, unless everyone who's listening to this podcast goes out and literally hugs a man, no one else is going to do it. Because if you don't do it, who's going to do it?
All right. He said, y'all should go out and go find a random man and hug him. he didn't say that. He did not say that, but like, that's so funny. He said, go hug a man. Someone said he is DEI Jordan Peterson. wait. Oh, y'all out of pocket. Y'all out of pocket. Someone said he's a discount. Don't call him discount Jordan Peterson. Don't do that. I feel like there's a racial undertone to that.
You can't rely on society. We've been relying on society to fix the problem. It's not working. Society can't do shit.
So you're saying me?
Me?
Forget
Yes.
society. Don't wait for government to have some kind of intervention.
How's it working out?
Not great.
It's not on YouTube yet for some reason.
He bought me the bracelet I wanted, but it's fake. Apparently it's fake. I can tell it immediately, but I didn't say anything because I was like, what can I do? I just met this man. We just started seeing each other. I actually like him.
Right then and there, when he gave you a fake bracelet, he let you know what he thought about you.
I think he thinks I don't know, because I was like, why did you make the box look like that? I was like, did you make this on purpose? Because he gave me another box with this bank leaf. Because I just know if this thing came fresh from the store, it doesn't look like that. It's the original box, and the material is just
why would you think
It's
he
not
would look at
beautiful.
you and think that you would?
As a woman, I will use Tyree's voice and ask, what more do you want from me? Now, what is happening? Before we go to Daisy, because I don't know what's happening here. Exclusive Daisy shares everything. Girl, why is he making her rounds on all these podcasts? Like, I'm so confused. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say on the doctor. I just wanted to see what was happening. There has to be a handbook that every man gets about patriarchy, and the first lesson has to be deflecting accountability, because what? For real? Because that don't make no sense. Thank you so much for being with us for so long. I forgot as a woman, I will use. Oh, I just read that. Geez, accountability really is the Schmenz kryptonite. Look. So I could not. Someone said, you know why, Venus. I could not watch Abba and Preach live without pre-watching it. And I actually like this video. This is Abba and Preach at their best. And by Abba and Preach at their best, I actually did like this video that we're gonna watch. I don't know if I should watch this interview live, because, like, I don't know what's happening. And I can't move back. Why can't I move back? Whatever.
So I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't know. So I told him,
wait. When he didn't know, when did you guys go to the mall though? That the bracelet was fake. You guys went to the mall together, but you didn't go into the store at that time.
No, March 29th, so he told me he wanted to go buy something for like New Year. So we went to the shopping mall. As soon as we arrived in the shopping mall, he was like, this is where the sugar daddy taking their sugar baby for shopping. So I was like, this is so awkward. Why are you telling me this? What is this story? What are you trying to say? Like, I'm not even asking you to do anything. Why are you telling me this? So I was thinking, okay, this man just testing me because he want to see what am I up for. So I was like, okay, we go separate way. You go yours, and I'll do my stuff.
All right. You have to be likable for humans to want to hug you. My dog is likable on walks. Ladies always stop to hug him. Maybe they should. No, that's mean. Don't say that. Don't say that. We have to be mindful and careful. Um, I don't know what Daisy is talking about, so I'm just gonna skip Daisy. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna skip this and go to Fresh and Fit because I want to be able to start over, but I don't know why I can't. Let me try this.
Okay, and for no matter what reason, he said that in the beginning.
Did YouTube update? Because there's like, when there is a live stream, you're supposed to be able to start from the front and then speed it up to catch up to where they are. And for some reason, I can't. I don't. What is happening? Anybody have time for this? I'm not doing this. If I can't see it up there.
We get to the point.
No. All right. So instead of that, we're going to watch the video that I actually have for us to watch. And Abba and Preach came back because they go milk this dry. And in some ways, I don't blame them. I do not blame them. They go milk this dry. And every time Fresh and Fit respond, they go make a response video. It's that simple. So let's hear what Abba and Preach had to say. Let me speed it up.
Video on Fresh and Fit. I wonder how they feel about it. Again! Mr. Hair Transplant doesn't look too happy.
These guys were so quick to try to use this as content to make us look bad. They didn't properly vet this girl, but it's okay. I'm gonna do it for them. But then she's running around and telling Abba and Preach and all these other simps, oh, I'm not square, and they're believing it. Oh, okay, I believe it. Interviewing a criminal, giving her a platform, letting her tell you all these lies, and you best believe I'm calling immigration on you, 100%. You shouldn't even be here.
All of a sudden, they think that this kind of character assassination is going to somehow lend credence to the fact that Fresh is asking her to get an abortion, and this is not the first time. I repeat, what? Fresh has done this to other women, and I wouldn't believe it if it came from another woman. But guess who it came from? Hug CEO himself.
What's the worst thing you guys told a girl?
So if you guys don't tell them like this, there's something called a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And like
shit.
basically
You tell the story? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so basically, right?
I didn't even notice that Hafiz was right here. Hafiz was right there smiling, talking about how he's super Christian. I didn't even realize this is the video. This is the video. We want to hear Daisy and Dusty Coconut struggle. All right, let me hurry up and get through this. Let me hurry up. Let me hurry up and get through this. Look at Hafiz with his jaw. Look at Hafiz with his jaw was all up in this video. All right, Hafiz. Let's hear if you push back because you are so against abortions and you're so Christian and conservative.
I was with this chick, and we were kind of like fizzling out. It wasn't working out, but she got pregnant. And then I kind of told her like, "Yo, we can work this out. Don't worry about it, but we can't." And then I did Hail Mary, and I'm here.
No, tell them what the Hail Mary is. Tell them what the Hail Mary is. Tell them what it is.
Okay.
Go all the way.
Okay. So the Hail Mary is, for example, right, where like you tell a chick what she wants to hear, and you have kids later on.
Do you mind pausing it real quickly?
Get a McGriddle.
No, I don't. There you go. He said, tell her what.
The fact that he wants to call ICE on Fresh's Asian preference is like diabolical work. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, this is your preference. This is your foreign, feminine, fit, and friendly, submissive preference. Why are you calling ICE on her?
That it is just this. You heard what he just said, right? He literally just said that when a girl gets pregnant, what he does, his Hail Mary is trick her into thinking he loves her, make her get an abortion, and then leave her after taking her to McDonald's. Zero allegedly. I don't have to say allegedly because it's coming from his own mouth. Because he's dumb enough to sit his dumb self up on his podcast, announce to the world that he love bomb women, trick them into getting an abortion, and then leave them. And that's why Daisy is righteous in her drag. Running from platform to platform to drag him. Daisy moving through the platform like she collecting the Infinity Stone to get rid of half of Fresh and Fit. But after Daisy collect all the podcast Infinity Stone, she gonna snap her finger and one half of Fresh and Fit is gonna be gone. This man is sick and twisted and evil and disgusting. Like the fact, and Hafiz, look at Hafiz laughing, talking about his question. Is the roommates back yet? I need to go check on the roommates to see if they're back because I haven't dragged Hafiz in a bit. Hafiz out here laughing at this man. This is a godly man, by the way. Hafiz claims to be a godly, righteous man that was never a part of the red pill community. And he's pushing back against the red pill community while laughing at this degenerate, at Coconut's story regarding how he tricks women into having abortion and then leave them.
And orange juice, sit her down, you tell her about life, and you start this happen, and you never see her again. Wait.
That got really dark. You couldn't give her a nicer meal.
Fresh. You ever gonna stop self-snitching?
Again! You fucking idiots!
And in case you're wondering whether or not it's a real story, if you keep watching the clip, you'll see that being said, Fresh says it's real.
Do you know how much I died laughing at this part where he was mimicking him?
Yeah,
when I tell you I died laughing.
I was literally trying not to laugh.
Because he actually sounds just like them. Because I'm like, are they two like dumb, retarded clones of each other? Like, it's like, why do y'all talk the same? You're not even related.
Dragging him someone keeps saying it's cracking. By the way, if it is slowing down or whatever, I don't know how to fix it. I just plugged in the Ethernet or whatever card. If that doesn't work, I have no control. I rebuke glitchy internet.
Barbados. People were like, oh, why would you think this? Because this is who Fresh is. This is things he's done before. So essentially, this guy gets a girl pregnant, pretends he's going to be with her, says, listen, I want babies with you, but it's just not the right time. So the girl's so in love, she's like, all right, I'll get rid of this kid that I do want, that you put inside of me. But to be with you, I'll get rid of it, and then we'll have kids together in the future when it's going to be the right time. And then he dumps her after she got the abortion. Does this seem like the kind of person who's trustworthy and responsible? I'm asking. According to Fresh himself, he's not. He's a deceptive individual who will say anything to a woman to get her to like him, and then will also lie to her to get himself out of any situation.
I said, if a girl's on camera with me, she is what? Not my girl. Just get that in mind. If I bring a girl on camera, she's not my girl. You can never see my girl because I know what happens when you bring a girl on the internet. I learned from experience. That's all I'm gonna say.
I love her. No, I know. Let me think.
When I say Fresh is not credible and he's a dishonest person, this is what I mean. Is this red pill? To nut inside of a bunch of women, get them pregnant, and hope you can use deception to get them abortions?
The nuclear family.
McDonald's, woo child, not the money man. Y'all getting meals at McDonald's to have a boy. Yo. I can't. Hey, Storm Monroe. They're only godly when scolding women. Apparently, this is the only time because ain't nothing about any of this godly. And I love that Amber is tracking them.
But do you see how utterly disgusting this is? Because we hear Black men in the manosphere, I'm sure Fresh and Fit have set up and talked about, oh, Black women are killing Black babies and getting all these abortions when they're not telling them that they're choosing to be single mothers because they didn't get abortions. But it's utterly disgusting that he would sit up here as they put themselves on a moral traditional high horse and joke and laugh about recklessly impregnating a woman and then tricking her into getting an abortion and then ghosting her after. Like, this is just disgusting. They deserve every single thing that they're getting. I do really feel like this is part of the black male reckoning, because I mean, when your whole subscriber base is turning on you based on your nasty, disgusting, degenerate, hypocritical ways, this is just what they deserve at the end of the day. Like, I don't see how they would bounce back from this. Like, if their followers were still defending and supporting them, then it would be one thing. But if you go in their comment section, they're getting dragged.
Oh yeah, I'm
completely and totally.
Right now, someone said Fresh said he got 100 bodies but get tricked by a Chinese escort. Fresh took an L, give advice, doesn't take none of them. Myron, he's just your friend, not your child. Stop defending a grown man who took a major L in doing absolutely everything your brand preaches against. Myron really trying to assassinate her character only to make Fresh look worse. These guys are clowns. Sleeping with a 3-0, you know what? As a rich man without protection is pretty dumb. Not gonna lie, Fresh. All you did was show that Fresh was taking escorts to Barbados. By the way, I was just reading them in order. Like, I did not filter for anything. I did not skip any comments. I was just going in order. They're just dragging. We have lost all respect for your podcast because Walter immediately asked for an abortion after the talk about women should be held accountable for their action, all while Fresh seems to run away from accountability. The fans are dragging. So Fresh is out here going raw in escorts. Brah, this is a big L. He impregnated an escort and introduced her to his mother. Her being an escort makes Fresh look worse. Y'all should have kept that quiet. Like, it's just drag after drag after drag after drag. Like, all of these comments are dragging. All of them. Oh, hey, Myron. I thought she was a baddie from a wealthy family. Not whatever. Not a gold digger and a high class girlfriend type material. What happened to that? Now she's an escort. Yeah. Because they get to lie and do whatever they want whenever they want. Fresh and fit.
Family is the backbone to any thriving society.
Is it part of the nuclear family to nut beside a bunch of women that you don't actually want to be with and get them pregnant and hope they get abortions? Is this how you father families and don't create single parent households?
You know, the thing is, all this time, people and them, they've been saying, "Oh, we're not red pill," even though we never claim that we are, and we're not. But neither are you.
Facts.
Facts. Neither are you.
What is more beta than coming inside of women that y'all claim are workers and getting them pregnant and risking all your financial future? What is more beta than having an online beef with somebody and then putting on monkey suits and then losing millions of dollars because you want to be an idiot on camera? All you guys do is take L's. Again! Every time you guys get a chance, you embarrass yourself. And I know your fan base knows it because they're eviscerating you in the comments and they look at you guys like clowns.
Oh, it's not a little fan base. Sometimes you're watching things because it's entertaining, not because you like it.
Yeah.
Or you like what's going on or anything like that.
I don't know how you guys take this movement seriously. If you want to take it seriously, take it seriously. Their whole like destroying stream, they brought up her ID, they said all this stuff. They provide no proof. Nothing really tangible. And they never address any of the lies they told their own fans. They don't address the fact that Fresh did pay for that gift, even though he told fans they're stupid.
Have it.
They are literal receipts that show Fresh paid for it.
The Chinese escort, because I'm about to get Fresh on this one too. So Fresh, you gave an extremely expensive Von Cleef bracelet, which are worth up to 30K, to a Chinese escort you just met. Now, Fresh, you claim that you didn't give her the gift. That's what you claim.
Show me the proof.
But the escort said that you did.
No, he didn't. Number one, he didn't buy the bracelet for her. Here's where you're wrong. One, she's on escort, and two, I didn't buy a bracelet. So what are you trying to say, bro? Where's the proof? You have no proof.
Fresh, you're lying. Bro, you're Fresh. You're a trick, bro. You're lying. And everyone sees it. It's all ones in the chat, bro.
There is receipt that this man bought over the bracelet was almost $30,000 and he paid for half of it. And he sat up there and lied while there is proof, like she has proof that he paid almost $15,000 and she paid almost $15,000 for a bracelet. And he up here lying, just lying. Allegedly. Your Honor, I give you precedent. Case closed. Like, this is wild to me. Like, it's funny because people keep saying, oh my God, no lies. I was actually going to tell a lie just now. I think in my head, I made it up that people said this, but thankfully I caught myself because I would have to admit, like, no one said that. I thought people were like, oh my God, we don't care. No one has ever said that. I am the only one who keep thinking no one cares about this. Everyone is very invested and we're sipping tea, eating popcorn and laughing. everyone is like fully invested in this. I don't know why I'm like, oh my God, people don't even care about this. They do. Oh, there's over 1,000 people in here. Please like the stream. It's very helpful. Fresh is doing to his preference what black men do to black women. Yeah.
So to put that on me, just because you want to say, oh, Fresh is a simp, wrong.
So you didn't buy it?
Fresh, so can you
No, you're just trying to say that he bought the bracelet. He didn't buy the bracelet. And you're saying, oh, Fresh bought her a Van Cleef bracelet. You have no proof of this.
None.
No, it's not true. He paid half and I paid half. Like I said, how much? Around 30K. Well, first I still have the conversation. I told him, what's the issue if you tell everyone you bought me the bracelet? Like, why can't you tell everyone? Why can't you speak the truth? Like, why are you like pretending it, like hiding it? But then he was like, don't say it. He just told me to shut up.
If Fresh is not his baby or she's not pregnant, then just demand a DNA test. Why don't you go do that? There's a reason why you're not going to do it. The reason why you're not going to do it is because you know it's your kid. All this people saying, oh, Fresh is impotent. He can't have kids. Well, according to this, he's had other abortions before. They claim that she's a worker.
She was already going 50-50. 50-50 at an almost $30,000 bracelet. Don't sound like a bad deal to me. Now, I'm not going to buy a $30,000 bracelet. I'm going to retract that statement. I'm going to retract. I have never bought a $30,000 bracelet. That's a better statement, yes. Not done that.
Okay? I don't care. I said in the first video, she claims she's not, and you claim she's not. So that's what I'm going based off of. All three of y'all said this girl comes from a rich family and all this other stuff. And what did I say?
Someone said she's not hustling right, paying half of it. You pay for $14,000. He pays $14,000. After y'all break up, you go and sell it. You go and sell it. That you just made $14,000. What do you mean? Girl, that is a great con because it looks like you're not like just there for his money. If you're like, oh, I like this bracelet, it's like, oh, it's really expensive, and you're like, oh, baby, it's okay. You can just like, I'll pay half because I don't want you to just spend all that money on me. So I'll go half, and you go half, and then you just go and sell it. You go and sell it, and you just made $14,000. Look, y'all not about to play with this girl. Y'all not about to play with this girl. He probably got the seller lined up already. Probably already have the seller. Probably didn't even destroy the receipt. She has that receipt to bring that right back. It did not fit. Oh, we can adjust it. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's giving the same black man. Oops. Do not do that. Do not do that. I think that's one of the best way to get what you want because it looks like you are interested in investing in yourself, right? And people, well, if you have some people who just want to buy you things, they just want to buy you things. But if you have enough money, you can just go around and just pay for half for your bag. Just get Gucci bag, Gucci slippers, Fendi, Louis, Prada, David Yurman. Just get all the brands you want and pay half. Tiffany, just buy up half and then return all of them. Return all of them and you just... Y'all play too much. Y'all didn't even see. He didn't even see the game coming. She probably don't even have the bracelet. Has she shown anyone the bracelet? Has she shown? I need to see the bracelet. I need to see that bracelet because if she does not have that bracelet, I promise you, she already returned it and got $14,000. Period.
There's no actual proof that she does any of that kind of work. Now, whether or not you want to believe that is up to everyone at home. Listen, I don't know this girl. I don't know Fresh either. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know their whole history. There's a very high possibility that these people have done shady things in the past, so I have no way of knowing. The only people who say they knew her are y'all.
A question for you, bro. What proof do you have that she's an word? This girl comes from a rich ass family.
Yeah, bro.
You know how difficult it is to get a fucking visa as a Chinese national to come to the United States as often as she does? She comes from a very wealthy family, bro.
Here's where you're wrong. Okay. One, she's on court. And two, I need my bracelet.
Fresh, why are you even addressing this? Live your life. You're not doing anything a person in your shoes wouldn't do. You're living the dream, and people are going to hate as long as you know you do right by your people, and with God, you're good.
The problem is, bro, is that
it's because they brought her into the picture. Yeah. Normally, he wouldn't give.
Yeah, dude, you can roast me all day. I really don't care. But when you bring her family and her into this is weird, bro. It's like really weird. Like, and she's cool. It's cool. Just like, bro, why? Because you want to hate on me? Come on, man. This is why I don't do vlogs anymore with girls. This is the reason why.
Yeah.
Because they make them look crazy.
Yeah. And this is honest.
Okay, so when your fans were telling y'all this girl is an escort and blah blah blah, y'all dragged them, shamed them, like y'all disrespected your fans, saying she wasn't. Now that she's broken up with Coconut and want Coconut to pay up, y'all are now saying she's an escort after defending her. And y'all don't see why y'all don't get why your fans are mad. Your subscribers are dragging y'all because y'all are dumb. She's getting child support and green card, period. We know she at least got $14,000. We know. We know. Allegedly, she at least got $14,000 out of it. $14,000 for 3 months, 4 months of work. No, that's not a lot. That's not a lot. Hopefully she got more.
Like, it's funny because we gave y'all an IRL, right? Showing a little bit of our life.
Yeah.
And then it like, now it's like, and you guys wonder why, like, we're reluctant to like show you guys stuff that we do behind the scenes. It's because people got to be weird, bro. Like, they always got to be.
Yeah, they do. But the reason you guys don't do it is because you guys are fraudsters. And if you really show what happens behind the curtain, they're going to see that you don't live the lifestyle that you proclaim. And Fresh, this is evidence of that. Because whether this girl's an ex-worker or not really has no importance to me. But it has an importance to your movement and the things that you guys profess. These are the exact kind of women that you tell all the men to, if she is what you say she is, this is the exact kind of woman you tell every guy to avoid. When you went on the HA podcast, you said you have to sleep with 50 women or more. Why? So you can discern female nature. So you can spot a good one from a bad one.
What guys have to do is kind of go in and understand how women operate in today's day and age. And I think a good way to do that is obviously to have experience so that you're not getting into a relationship or a situation with a woman and you're not aware of her nature and you don't know how to deal with it.
Fresh has supposedly had 1,000 bodies.
Pretty successful ladies. You know, we're both triple digit notch count. He's in the quadruples.
So my honest to God true body count, bro, no cap. Ready for it? It's over 1,000. Right, I told you, right? I told you about Barbados when. So listen, guys, I'm gonna break it down for you, right? And you can't tell a good one from a bad one? Does this just make you look like you have zero credibility?
How do you get a wife, Ethan? Because my thing is like you're like just you're talking about the finish line. What about the race?
Yeah.
It is wild that their entire platform is about searching and finding women and vetting women and making sure you are not trapped by a woman. Like, that is wild. Like, for you to be like, you men need to not date or be with anyone until you got to 50 women. You have to sleep with 50 women, and then you can understand women. And Coconut is alleged to have over 1,000, but look, ain't no power in this world is going to make me believe that him looking how I don't believe Coconut. I don't believe Coconut. At that point, you're walking as the no, that was what Sin said. That did not come from my own brain. I will not repeat that. But that sounds like a problem. That is a problem. But we don't believe. Let's say you've been with like 300. I don't believe that either. But let's just say 300. If your criteria for understanding women is 50, you should have been understand women. And the fact that you're getting played by who you call an escort is like, you should just quit. Like, you should voluntarily quit because you obviously don't know how to not get tricked. Like, you obviously don't know. Oh, period. The skin is skinning. The skin is skinting.
Understand? Like, you have to get
Are
to
either of you married?
where you can even identify a female that's worthy of marriage, of having a family with, etc. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's not that simple anymore. So we live in a very complex world where it's difficult to identify women that are marriage material. A lot of guys don't have that ability to find a woman that's worthy.
You don't have that ability.
I don't have that ability.
You're not married.
That's by choice.
But no, the ability to find a woman, you clearly don't have that ability.
I wonder how many more times they're going to make this mistake.
Again!
And
again!
And
again!
So you use the sugar daddy websites as dating sites. You say it's hard to find good women because they're motivated by material things and stuff, and yet you're seeking women, specifically a certain type of woman, obviously, would be on a sugar daddy website. So it seems like you are confirming your biases by even going there to find women.
Okay, so you.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'll say it.
So Abba is in his element. Abba is in his element, and I will say, he redeemed himself from that last Destiny debate. And maybe he's not a debater. So like, maybe I wasn't too hard on him. I was very fair. However, I do like this. I do like this video. He is dragging, and the edits and the fact that they have this clip. Apparently, Abba and Prince has been waiting for this fight. They've been waiting for this fight. And right now, I think Fresh and Fit should just bow out. If I were Fresh and Fit manager, I would tell them to just bow out of this one. I think Myron should probably let Fresh go. But for the sake of their platform, I don't want him to let them go. I want them to be up there and be ignorant, continue to be hypocritical, and for people, because I think it's useful to use them to wake other people up to realize these men literally are just talking. They're just talking to talk. They don't have a secret sauce. They don't know anything. They're getting played. They're getting used, and they don't know what they're doing. They literally don't know what they're doing. Their attorneys told them to shut up, and they came back talking. And Myron thinks if Coconut isn't there while he's talking, then it means that they're not putting all the issues out there on Front Street. Like, I just don't understand how their minds work currently. But I'm going to go back to that chat because I want to see them getting dragged in the chat by their own people, because that is wild.
Scenes is because people got to be weird, bro. Like, they always got to be fucking weird and like send the girls messages. Like, Angie gets a bunch of stupid ass messages too.
I couldn't imagine.
You know, she just has thick skin.
But they're right. They're right. We don't see post some of the things that goes in our personal lives. Why? Because people are gonna be weird about it. They're gonna take pictures of people that have nothing to do with your family and claim they are your family, and then diss them.
Facts, that happens.
That's what you did. So you're right. Motherfuckers be weirdos. And that's you.
But never forget what they told us many years ago.
We are better than you niggas. Period. I ain't gonna lie. We're better than you. We make more money than you. We got a better fucking channel than y'all. We get more views than y'all. The only thing you guys got on us is you guys been on longer. But I guarantee you, next year, this time, we're gonna lap you motherfuckers. Because you know what? Nobody works harder than us. Nope. Period.
How's that going? How's that going? One demonetization and losing millions of dollars later. How's that going? Yeah, always going to lose, huh? You're my child. I've disciplined you a great many times, and I will discipline you again. You know why we do this? Because the red pill, this movement, it is a sickness of the highest order, and I don't enjoy it. Yeah, I got to pay. They showed some kind of video of her, which is supposedly her with a client.
Okay, but it's an anonymous source.
Girl, Abba going in. Abba, yeah, you more than made up for whatever you did with the Destiny. You you are my girl. Period. Drag Abba, drag. Period. Girl, period. Everything. Let me go back. He's an idiot. I love this so much. I love this so much.
I go like, we're better than you. We make more money than you. We got a better fucking channel than y'all. We get more views than y'all. The only thing you guys got on us is you guys been on longer. But I guarantee you, next year, this time, we're gonna lap you motherfuckers. Because you know what? Nobody works harder than us.
Nope.
Period.
How's that going? How's that going? One demonetization and losing millions of dollars later. How's that going? Yeah, always going to lose, huh? You're my child. I've disciplined you a great many times, and I will discipline you again. You know why we do this? Because the red pill, this movement, it is a sickness of the highest order, and I don't enjoy it. Yeah, I got to pay. They showed some kind of video of her, which is supposedly her with a...
Demis, you're inviting Abba back to the cooker. No, in truth, I would actually want to talk to him about this Dragon Ball series. I would want to talk to him. I want to know why he instinctively, I don't want to put it out here, did what he did, went to her, engaged the way that he did, and set it up. Because in truth, like this could have came and went. This would have came and went. But for Abba and Preach dragging the way Abba and Preach went out, found this woman, interviewed, like not even Destiny, because the way Destiny interacted with Daisy was discrediting her, right? And after Destiny's approach, right, when Destiny was live and spoke to Daisy and dragged her and said he didn't believe her, what Fresh and Fit could have done, and I thought they would have done, would clip that and use that to sort of lend credibility to themselves, disregard her as a liar, cloud chaser who does not have any like validity, right? And who is not pregnant, and just dismissed her. And that would have been the narrative. There would be small channels talking about it here and there, but it wouldn't affect them in any meaningful way. People would laugh at Fresh for a moment. But the fact is, the entire platform, friendship, and preachings is being called into question, thankfully, because Abba and Preach came and did this. It would have gone. It would have been done. It would have been done. But Abba and Preach won't let it go. And I'm very grateful that they didn't. I really am. Preach don't care. Preach is just there for the ride. Just Preach is all of us. Preach is all of us. And Abba is just being petty. Abba is just being petty. Abba is just being petty, and Preach is just there for the ride.
Client.
Okay. But it's an anonymous source. Okay. So this is a photo of her meeting up with a guy. And it gets better. We got video and audio. Run the clip.
If you call me and I'll prove it. No. Which insurance for? Do you have cash? Hi, I'm here. What are you working on?
She said she came out 3 times and that she couldn't do it anymore.
So you're going to do it 10 times?
Yeah,
but I'm a girl. I need to be more secure. If you don't make any excuse, that means you are not willing to pay. Don't stop.
We saw for maybe 30 minutes and I slipped in.
I cannot stay for 2 hours.
You can't stay for 2 hours.
I can stay, but I cannot.
3 hours, you will have to trust me on this. You will not be uncomfortable. You will not be painful. If you are, you may go. I will not force you to stay.
You can pay me half and I will stay here for 1 hour.
1 hour. It doesn't mean you're only going to stay 1 hour.
Then I will stay here for 1 hour and I'll leave. Because for you, 1 hour is enough. You said 2-3 hours. I cannot stay for 2 or 3 hours.
You can't stay for 2 or 3 hours.
That don't even look like her. Listen, like we don't even see her face.
They don't have
That's a receipt. A receipt without a date, without a store, without a item is not a receipt. Because what you have is a piece of paper.
That's facts. And there's a lot of other pieces of paper here. You showed a scrambled up piece of paper all in Chinese. Her gotta be all of them. It was rinky dink. I was really disappointed. I'm like, oh, listen, maybe they got something good. There was nothing there. Whether she is a sport or not, I don't care.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. Did Fresh get her pregnant or not? And if he did, he got to be accountable for that.
As a matter of fact, if you're trying to prove that she's a worker, and she is, and you didn't see it, it shows more what you are than what she is.
Every day. It's just funny to me that the dudes were supposed to be experts at this literally couldn't see something that was supposedly right in their face, but their own fans could see it. Mm-hmm. How does that make you a credible leader in this regards?
It doesn't.
When the fans pointed out to you, you called them stupid, uneducated, lonely dudes who have no game. But you, with all the game in the world, can't figure it out. You introduce her to your mom and your whole family. You was eating out her box. If she is what you claim she is, that's a bigger L for you. The fact that you got on a podcast and thought, yo, this is a W, I'm about to eviscerate everything. All you did was make your brand look more shaky, you dumbass. This would be like an evangelical getting accused of sleeping with a prostitute. He's like, no. It wasn't a prostitute, it was just a trans man.
She was not a prostitute, she was a crack. I didn't pay her in ducats, I paid her in crack. Because I would never pay for sex with money.
Where she basically stole money from an individual. Okay, yeah. She stole money from an individual. All right. And
so apparently there's a police report about someone claiming she stole $1,000. She was never convicted. She was never charged. We have no information about this, but they're saying she's a criminal.
Yeah, damn.
How does that work? How do you work in law enforcement and before someone's ever found guilty, you say they're a criminal? And if she was a criminal, how does she get a visa to go from China to the US? Think about how none of this makes any sense.
This woman takes this guy's money and runs off with it, right? One of the people that one of her clients, right? So what does that say about her character? And you guys might be wondering, well, Mario, do you got proof? Oh, I do got proof, actually. I got video. Here she is, taking the dude's money and doing what she's about to do with it. Oh.
Okay, so apparently this is the video footage of her. That's her. They're saying this is her in China. Bro, that's not the same person. That's not the same person.
Them showing again. They all look alike, so they're gonna. I
don't care how much plastic surgery you say this lady got. That don't even look like her. The eyes are completely different. Now, me personally, this is how I think it's all gonna end. I don't think she's gonna keep a kid. I think everyone's gonna be able to move on. And I think it's the best thing for everybody. Okay? I know I memed about one of these circumstances, and if I'm the Chinese national, there's no way I'm having some half black baby to go back to China and have to be socially ostracized. That just seems like a horrible idea. Another L for Fresh and Fit. They can't stop taking them. And them posting her personal employment information, all this other stuff. Hey, man, y'all better be careful. Y'all be posting.
I don't believe. Let me know if you can see me. I think something is wrong with my internet. I think this might be one of the first time it has been this bad. So I'm thinking about, if you can't see me, if I turn off my camera, it'll work better. But I feel like you can see me now. I don't know. If you can, drop a 1 if I'm good, a 2 if I'm not. I don't expect to see a child. I do not expect to see a child. I don't know if that would be the wisest decision, but I'm not the one with child. So I can't tell this woman to keep the child, to not keep the child. Like, look, I am your father, Dark Vader. Hey, V, how are you? Someone said something that I wanted to put. Someone said something about Papi. I can't find it now. But I wanted to put it up there. Timus, it's today's show instead of IdGab. IdGab is on hiatus. I didn't tell you all. I thought I told you all. IdGab is on hiatus. I don't think she would. Like, I don't know if she would carry Fresh's child and be with Fresh's child. I don't know. I don't actually care about any of that. I just want to know when the child support goes start. In any case, apparently people are like dragging me in the chat right now because they want to hear what she's saying on Logic's channel. So let's go over there and see what is happening. I don't think anything is happening, but because y'all are dragging me, I will. Your wish is my command, and I have a couple minutes left. So let's do it. I'm gonna do it in the after show though. So see you all in the after show. Let's hear what Daisy is revealing about. Let's hear what Daisy is revealing about Fresh and Fit over here at Trait Logic.
Then after we went to see the places. And then 10 days later, he told me, I'm actually seeing a future, like planning a long term. I don't think getting another apartment for you is better. You should just stay with me. I actually don't mind you staying with me, he said. I actually enjoy staying with you.
He said that?
Yeah, he said. And what?
Really?
I kind of feel that's kind of off, you know, because why would you promise something and don't do it?
Yeah. So, okay. So where did it stop? So when did it go from him wanting you guys to be in an apartment to, babe, you need to move out?
After that conversation, I felt something's off. The next day or 2 days later, I think the next day, he completely changed. He was like, oh, wait, I actually asked him, how about you sign the lease and I'll pay for myself? And then he denied it. Like he refused it. He refused
what? What do you mean he refused?
He refused to sign the lease, the sublease for me.
Okay.
Because I couldn't sign a sublease.
Right, because you're not a United States citizen and you don't have proof of income and this, that, and the other, yeah.
Right. It has to be under his name. Then I was going to pay for it.
You was going to pay for it all?
Right.
Oh.
How much I wanted to stay with him. I offered that and he was like, no.
Okay. This is wild, actually, because, like, unless I can pay for your apartment, putting my name on the lease and trusting that you will pay for it. putting my name on the lease and you gonna pay for it. Sounds like my Fresh told her he was gonna get her an apartment and pay for it. But she probably was gonna go 50-50 on the lease too. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how much of this I believe. It sounds like he promised her that he would get her an apartment. That's what it's sounding like.
You can have the key. We're just gonna have our own space, you know. But you have the key. You can access the apartment. You know, where that come from? I think he just all made up. Whatever he says that he made up. I'm not gonna rent the apartment for you. That was already his first.
Mm-hmm.
That was first thing because I said obviously he refused it, and then he sat in his face, and then like he stopped coming home. He doesn't pick up.
I just realized I literally have to go. I did not pack. The fact that I'm sitting here with y'all watching the struggle stream, and I did not. By the way, when I say struggle stream, I'm not attacking her. I'm attacking my own internet. This is me attacking my own internet. So it's that. So I can't sit here and watch this because I got things to do, places to be. So this is fun. I'll drop the link to Just Tree. By the way, I don't know much about Just Tree. I've heard about Triologic when she was going up against Candace Owens years ago. So I have no idea of who she is, but y'all can go over there and watch this. But I don't know her. This is not an endorsement of her. Like, I don't know anything. But because we were watching her stream, might as well just send it. Have a great night, everyone. I so appreciate you all. I will not be live on Friday. I hope I'm more than made up for it. I went live on Monday, Tuesday, and today, and also on Sunday. So hopefully that's good enough. I don't know if the video will be done by Friday. I don't think it will be. But that's completely my fault. Like, that's completely on me. So hopefully this made up for all of that. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you all when I get back. I might even go live on Saturday. Who knows when I get back. Bye.